What have the last few months been like for you in dealing with everything going on league-wide?
Well, it's just been an unusual time. The last couple months were sitting around like everybody else, just waiting to see what was going to happen and hoping that you were going to hear good news and get the phone call or read on Twitter that they came to an agreement. I was just so excited to call our players. That was the hardest part, was the four months of not being able to communicate at all with your guys, and when they came to an agreement, when I called the majority of the guys that night, it was a huge relief.
I was going to ask you about that. Obviously, you're a guy that likes to keep in touch with these guys throughout the whole year. So, I mean, what was it like for you to not be able to? Did you ever think about like picking the phone up and then having to not be able to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do it, but you're. I mean, I'm wondering how Trey's doing and Cedric and all of our guys. You just kind of all of a sudden one day you just can't talk to them, and so yeah, they're in your mind all the time, and you're hoping for the best and hoping it gets done so you can give them a call.
What's the challenge now of getting guys ready?
It's a big challenge. We have guys coming from every part of the country. Guys are going to be in all different ways physically right now, and to be healthy breaking camp, it's going to be an enormous challenge. This 3-week sprint, there's a lot of challenges from the standpoint of just spring training is already a challenge to keep guys healthy all the way through anyways, and now to only have a certain amount of time. We're going to start games on Friday. To only have 4 or 5 days before games start is going to it makes you nervous.
Summer camp a couple years ago, obviously very bizarre circumstances. Anything to gain from that, just the immediacy of then and the short time period they can take now?
Yeah, I think we can kind of look back on that, but this is a little bit different in that there's I don't think anybody really had an idea of when we were going to start, and so guys are in different places physically right now. Back then we had that spring training already. I felt like our guys stayed ready throughout that. If we got off to a good start when we started back up, I think our guys stayed ready so well. But this is a little bit different because there's an entire off season. We couldn't keep track of anybody.
How hard is it going to be as far as rotation is concerned? Because you want to see some of these guys and see what they look like this year versus last year or whatever.
For sure.
You're not going to have much time with that.
No, it's going to be a quick evaluation, and you hope that by the time the guys are, we're going to be really, really careful, and we're going to, especially with young guys, we're going to not force them out there before they're ready to face another uniform. But you want to see them compete. You want to see the improvements they made from the. A lot of these guys had really good experiences good experience last year, being in the big leagues for the first time. You want to see them how they came back from that and how they're going to improve.
Realistically, with starting pitchers, how cautious do you have to be? Could someone even work 5 innings when it comes to opening day?
I think that's best case scenario. Best case scenario is a guy that's on a 2 or 3 inning that's thrown sim games up until this point, 2 or 3 innings. To be able to get him to a 5 innings before we break would be a best case scenario.
Have they decided roster sizes?
No.
You're expecting maybe a couple extra guys early?
I'm waiting to hear, but I think that would be nice.
What about limits on pitchers? Do you know, like number-wise yet?
I do not know.
13.
Yeah, I think that those are conversations that the league's having with front offices in these next couple weeks to then determine.
How do you feel about the state of your roster to handle those pitching limits? Obviously, you've got a lot of younger guys who have starting experience, but just how do you feel about the state of things going into it?
Well, I feel a lot better after I talk to everybody. Everybody feels good right now, and now it's about the next 3 weeks. And injuries happen in spring. Pitching is always delicate in spring, and so to have an unusual spring now, it's not going to make it easy. So I'm just we cross our fingers that everybody stays healthy and that we have hard decisions to make at the end of camp.
Where's the value in someone like Jordan, who's been in the game a while, kind of knows his body, knows his routine this spring, to have that tendency now?
Yeah, it's huge to have a veteran influence in the rotation. talked to him a little bit the last couple of days. Really good guy, and he's been with a bunch of clubs. He's got a ton of experience. So he should feel like he knows what he needs to do to get ready. He likes where he is right now, and just need to keep him healthy.
With such a small number of games and so many in-house candidates for the rotation, how much of a look can you get at Grayson Rodriguez and DL Hall?
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be, you got 18, 19 games. You got to try to get everybody in there as much as possible. I think we got to be creative with backfield stuff. Might try some B games. Might try to add a game here and there. But I don't want to jump the gun on that too, because we got to get through this first 5 or 6 days, get everybody off the mound, going sides, see how they recover. Some of these guys have been in cold weather environments. They've been indoors. They haven't even put cleats on yet. So we're kind of just holding everything until we're kind of going to reevaluate after a handful of days.
With Cedric, obviously you knew the situation he was going through, but how much more impressive did that make what he did, knowing that he was battling what he was?
Yeah, it was, Cedric, obviously just an all-star, fantastic year. But yeah, I knew that all along. I knew from spring training last year, before spring training last year, that this was something that he was dealing with. You never let him bother him one time throughout the year. He never even never talked about it. And he's just such a positive guy that I think when it came out, and he talked about it, a next level of appreciation came from everybody of what this guy was battling, what he went through, and then to have the year he has just says how quality of a guy he is.
Trey also was dealing with some stuff during the year that he didn't tell anybody about, as far as getting a scare and that kind of stuff. How difficult was that in dealing with him? Because he obviously wanted to be careful with him, but he wanted to kind of fight through it.
Yeah, and there was. I mean, we dealt with a lot last year. a lot of things that people.
Here.
A lot of things that people. Yeah, dealt a lot last 3 years. No, a lot of stuff that people didn't know and didn't, at the time, and things that were private. And one of those was, Trey. That's what I just kept talking about all year last year, of patience with Trey, and let's just be happy that he's healthy right now and he's in the lineup. And I was never going to push him, but he wanted to be in the lineup as much as possible. He dealt with scares and some other things that was extremely hard, and it just shows you how strong mentally he is. It's amazing how he feels amazing right now. He said he's feeling better than ever before right now. That's a positive. He's in a great mood, and we're excited to see a smile on his face.
You had a month before they got here to look at some of the younger players who you hadn't really seen before. What'd you see?
It was fun to watch. I got to see majority of it. Living here has made it easy. Just observing and watching how talented we are in the minor leagues. Fun to watch our high draft picks and some of the other guys. Just how physical they are. They're athletic. They just have a lot of tools, and to see those waves coming. Orioles fans are going to be really excited. It's a fun group. They have a ton of personality. There's a ton of energy. They feed off each other, like the way they work, and it was fun to watch from a golf cart.
How exciting is it to have Adley in camp again?
Yeah, no, Adley's. I'm very excited to watch him. I watched him here for the last few weeks. He's obviously extremely talented. And it's going to make pitchers better, and he's got intangibles, and besides just the physical tools, and it's an exciting time for him and for us.
Veteran catcher at Cheerios. Are you even allowed to speak about that right now?
No.
Okay. Well, then we'll just blow it off.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks.
One other question on Cedric, though. He said one of the main reasons he didn't talk about it was in deference to Trey, because he didn't want to kind of overshadow anything that Trey was going through. What does that say about him?
Ultimate teammate, I think that's what we have. We have guys in there that care about each other, that are selfless. Trey. Trey was a big part of our clubhouse. When when everything went down and what happened to him, it was a huge blow to everybody. And for him coming back, everybody wanted that to be the story. And Cedric is such a class act that it just says a lot about him.